Hello YouTubers, if you wonder where I've been very fortunate to be able to purchase a new car. Now this car is the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus 2021 refresh model. Now I will be one of the first few people within the UK to receive this batch. It's new for this quarter of 2020 and never have I owned a car where I'll get stopped at a supermarket or in the middle of the street and people just asking questions about the car. They're so intrigued by it. Because they're so intrigued, I thought I'd do a first impression video now, and then over the coming weeks I'll be covering different topics of interest in the car, because there is just literally too much to talk about within a 10-minute video. Now whether you're new to Teslas and electric vehicles, or if you are a Tesla owner, these videos will be relevant to you, and that's why you should hit the like button and the subscribe button, just so you can see these Tesla videos, which will be full of interesting and informative content. When I ordered the car, you have to order a Tesla online. You can't get it from a dealership. When you order it online, one of the main reasons why you order it online is because the demand exceeds the supply, so you could be waiting 2-3 months to get a hold of one. I was very fortunate and I bagged a inventory model, and what it was is that the vehicle was in transit already and it wasn't assigned to a buyer, and that meant my lead time was cut down to around 2 to 3 weeks. So there are actually 3 different trims of the Model 3 range. There's the Standard Range Plus, the Long Range model, and the Performance model. I got the 3 aero wheels with mine, and they are a revised design for the 2021 model. So you'll either love these wheels or you'll hate these wheels. But the beauty of having the aero wheels is that you can actually take them off, and there's a sexy pair of wheels underneath it. So don't fear about the aero wheels. You can take them off. They're just a cap, and you can purchase a wheel kit. Effectively just goes over the nuts and bolts that's underneath it, and it will look absolutely fresh once you've done that. And again, I will cover that in a different video. So I love the futuristic look of the car. If you go back 10 years ago, hell, even like 2 years ago, I'd need a phone, a car key and a wallet for me to leave my everyday to go to work. Fast forward to today and I can walk out with just a phone, because I can call on my phone, I can pay for items via contactless payment on my phone, and now I can drive my car using my phone pretty much. So I can literally unlock the car, I can drive the car, and I can then leave the car without actually getting the phone out. So the phone actually acts as a car key. So I can do all them things now with just my phone. So the phone also has a dedicated app for the Tesla, and that dedicated app has a variety of different features, but one of the main ones I want to focus on is Sentry Mode. So Sentry Mode means I can literally take the security of the car into my own hands. So the car will record any suspicious activity outside the car, whether you're in the car or outside the car. Even if I honk the horn, it will be recording. Even if I'm sleeping, it will be recording. So the app can do many different things, such as heating the car up or honking the horn if you really wanted to do it. You do get 2 key cards for the car, but even then it's more of a contactless experience. So there's no swiping in any way. It's literally swipe it on this surface, it opens the car, swipe it on this surface, you can now drive, and then you swipe it on another surface, you've now locked the car. From the shots that you can see now, you can see that the screen plays a big part of the interior, and it's where 95% of the controls are. So I can control the heating, the wipers, the sat nav. There's even Netflix on there, YouTube, arcade games. It's literally an iPad on wheels, but don't expect to be watching Netflix whilst you're driving on the motorway, because that's just way too dangerous to be doing that. In the car I've also got a powered boot, or trunk as you might call it, and in the front I also have a frunk. So under that is under the bonnet there is extra space. Now I'm going to use that extra space probably as my dedicated takeaway compartment. So if I've got curry or fish and chips, it's definitely going to go in there so it doesn't stink the interior of the car out, because it's still got that nice new car smell. I've also got the new center console, and you'll see that I put the camera actually in the compartment so you can have a good idea of the depth of it, but they go really far down and it's got way more space than what I anticipated. You've also got fast wireless charging, and on that you can charge 2 different phones at the same time, and I have the S20 Ultra, which is one of the biggest phones that you can buy, and mine charges just fine on that wireless charging mat. So when it came to delivery was a very wet British day, and it made checking the car over much more difficult, but I had a checklist which kept me on track as to what I need to look out for. And I thought, if you are looking at this video just before you're going to pick up your car, it'd be wise to actually put that checklist down in the description so you guys can have a look at it. It is mainly aimed at US buyers, but it still works in the UK just fine, as you can clearly see. So I turned up at Birmingham. Now Birmingham has a service centre and a collection centre, so you don't want to do an Adam and go to the wrong place. So the easiest way to work out if you're at the right place or not is to look for the Superchargers, and that's where the collection centre is. So I had to trade my car in, so I had to take my documentation for that, my 2 keys, they took my licence and made me sign something. Then they gave me the 2 cards so I can actually get into the car. Went through the checklist, and once I was happy, came back 40 minutes later, made me sign 2 more things, and that was it. I was done. I was free to drive. I drove it back in chill mode, as I've never owned a electric car, not alone an automatic, so it was completely different to what I was used to. But hands down, I can say how easy it was to drive. One of the things that I was a bit nervous about before is the regenerative braking. So when you would normally stop in a normal combustion engine car, is you stop with the brake, but with this, when you take your foot off the accelerator, it will slow down for you, because it's saving the energy that would normally go through the brakes, that will be sent back to the battery to use its extra power. So it's an energy saving feature. You do obviously have the brake as well, because there will be corners where there will be times where you do need to use the brake, but I found it very reassuring with that regenerative braking, because whenever I took my foot off the accelerator, you were slowing down quite quickly really, and you'll find that as you are driving that you'll be taking corners now where you won't even use the brake, you'll just use that regen braking, you will use the actual brake very little during your actual whole driving process. Now, because it is an electric car, it will have instant power, therefore the acceleration on it is pretty insane. The official stats are 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, and mine is the slowest of the whole range of Model 3s. If you want something a bit faster, you probably want to look at the performance model, which has a 0 to 60 time of 3.2 seconds with the acceleration boost software update. The mileage of the car is another question that I kept getting asked by random people in the middle of the street, and the official range is 267 WLTP or 263 EPA range if you're in the US. So if you're thinking that's pretty bad and you can easily get 400 in a petrol car, yeah, you can get 400 miles in a petrol car, but what you need to consider is the average daily trip of a user or a driver in the UK is actually only 20 miles, so that's well within that limit. If I then want to drive a bit longer, then for example I live in Leicester, and if I want to travel to London, that's 99 miles, and I can do that in an all-round trip with ease. Even if I don't get the rated range, I've still got around a 20% buffer, which is quite excessive to lose. Driving from Birmingham, that was only 44 miles, so again well within the limits. If I went somewhere that was considerably close to the range. So if I went to probably the furthest place that I'd be going in the car, which would be Whitby, which is 165 miles, I'd still have 100 miles on paper left to use. Even when I do that, if I decided to go somewhere that was beyond the range of the car, I would have access to the Tesla Supercharger network. So not only do I have the normal electric infrastructure, the Supercharger network is exclusive to Teslas, and that will allow you to charge from 10% to 80% in just over 20 minutes. So you can imagine being on the motorway doing 250 miles, for example, and that's going to take you maybe over 3 hours worth of driving. You're probably going to need a wee break, and you're probably going to be a bit thirsty, so you go in, grab your Starbucks or your Costa, whatever you want to drink, have your wee, go back, and you're pretty much ready to go again. So range is not an issue, especially in the UK. I'm not quite sure what it's like in America, but for us here in the UK, that standard range plus is going to be more than sufficient range for the everyday user. And that's it. I could talk about the car all day. It's going to be much better if I do these in small chunks, so you can get the content that you want and more information on that actual individual topic as well. So if there's something that you'd like me to cover, please drop a comment in the comment below, or just let me know that you came to the end of the video and if you enjoyed it or not. And that's it. Make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, and share it with your friends and your family. Thank you.